Hi guys, I am Trish and today I'm going to be making for you a lentil loaf and some oven roasted veggies. So if this is something you're interested in, please continue to watch. Please remember to like, share, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when a new video comes out. All right, let's get right into the video. Okay guys, so as far as the roasted veggies go, we're going to be using some pumpkin and some radishes, some rainbow baby carrots, some asparagus, some sweet potato, one large red onion, some cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and yeah, this is also a broccoli. So that's what we're going to need, and some oil and of course salt and pepper to taste. All right, and as far as the lentil loaf goes, we're going to need, I think this is about 16 ounces of soaked lentil that has been soaked overnight and rinsed, and some onion powder, salt, garlic powder, bay leaves, some nutritional yeast, organic adobo, some allspice, cayenne pepper, some ketchup, chopped pecans. I'm actually going to turn the pecans into pecan meal using the food processor, but you can use a blender or you can just crush them in a bag. Some Dijon mustard and some jerk barbecue sauce. I always tend to reach for this jerk barbecue sauce because it has much less sugar than regular barbecue sauce, and some tomato paste, 2 celery sticks, 1 carrot, and a quarter of a large red onion. Okay, the next thing I want to do is add my lentil to my pot. Okay, and then I'm gonna add, this is a 32 ounce box of vegetable broth, and I got this at Aldi. And I'm gonna just cover, I'm gonna just put enough just to cover the lentil. Okay. Okay guys, come with me while I gather my herbs on the outside. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna get is some thyme. We need a lot of that. Thyme enhances everything. Okay, we're just gonna get some sage. Hopefully I can do this with one hand. Okay, here we go. So we got our thyme and our sage. Let's get some more sage. Can't have too much of that. It's just so good for you. All right. And then we need some rosemary. Fresh rosemary. I don't usually do this solo, but everybody's busy today, so I'm just gonna let that fall right in. Let's do this. Kind of hard with one hand. All right, there we go. What else did we need? Some oregano. We've been having a lot of rain, and so the oregano is just super happy. Let me get. All right. Okay, guys. Let's see if there's anything interesting that I might want to show what's going on right now. I guess we're getting ready to harvest cauliflower now, but they need to get a little bigger. We have a bunch of that here. So that's the newest that's going on. One day I'll give you guys a tour of the little backyard garden. Okay. Okay guys, so now that I've gotten all my veggies chopped, washed and chopped, I'm seasoning with some fresh oregano, rosemary, and thyme. I'm pretty much just pinching up everything. The only thing I'm worried about here, usually worried about, is the thyme, because the stems are so stick-like. But I usually cut the tender part of the rosemary, so that's fine, and the tender part of the oregano. But then the thyme is more mature, so I have to pull the leaves off, like so, for the children's sake. I don't want them to, you know what I mean? So if you have children, yeah, be careful with that. All right, so basically just gonna mix everything around. I'm gonna add a little black pepper. If you don't like black pepper, I mean, you're gonna season with whatever you like, obviously, and salt. As far as other seasonings, that's all I'm gonna put on here, and some olive oil. Then I'm gonna go in with my hand and just, if I had done this morning and let it sit, let it marinate, it smells so good, it would even be better. So I'm gonna put these on my sheet pan and then allow them to roast in the oven. All right, guys, so because I have a smaller oven, I have to use 2 sheet pans. And so during halfway through cooking, I kind of shift them around, so all my veggies still get a nice roasted color. That's all right. I try to even them out as much as I can. Sometimes I end up using even 3 sheet pans, but this will be okay as long as everybody's cooked. All right, so into the oven on 350 for 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, it just depends. And the only thing I'm worried about is the radishes, because they usually cook up in about 15 minutes, but they should be okay, because you see they're close to other veggies, so they won't cook up as fast. They won't have as much heat getting to them. So for those of you guys biting off my tongue that are used to the radishes, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. No need to worry about them. Typically, you try to cook veggies that where they all cook up at the same time, But the radishes are the only ones that would cook up before everybody else. So 350 I'm gonna go for 30 minutes. Okay, guys, so in this pan I have about a tablespoon of goat milk ghee. This is the brand that I use. I like to use ghee when I'm working with lentils. It just gives it a nice flavor. But of course you can use any oil you like. What we're going to be doing is sauteing our onions. And this is that half of a large, or a quarter of that large red onion. And I'm just going to allow this onion to caramelize. Get all that flavor out of it. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. That's just going to help it to sweat a little faster. And so when that's caramelized, I will come back. Okay, so my lentil is cooked. So I'm going to go ahead and drain it. You want to make sure that all the liquid is drained. Okay, guys, so in this blender here, this is a dry blender for the Vitamix. I'm gonna use about 1.5 cups. Let's get that up to a half. It's about 1.5 cups of raw chopped pecans, and I'm gonna turn that into pecan meal, and that's gonna yield me about 2 cups of pecan meal. So I'm gonna spare you the noise. Okay, so it's about like breadcrumbs, or a little bit finer than breadcrumbs, but you can have it a little bit more bigger pieces if you'd like. But I have a picky eater, and if he knows there's pecans in this loaf, he'll not eat it. So that's why I'm making it into like a meal right? But it doesn't have to be this fine. Okay. Okay, so my onions have caramelized enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some chopped garlic that I had forgotten to say. That's about 3 cloves of chopped garlic, and my 2 celery sticks, and my 1 carrot chopped. Just gonna go ahead and combine that. And it already has salt, so I'm not gonna put any more salt on there. I am gonna add about half a cup of that vegetable broth. This is the brand that I use. I don't remember if I showed you before. So I'm going to allow this not to really cook, but just to, saute just a little bit. And I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And just allow it to saute just a little bit. The vegetables are going to be in the loaf, cooking in the oven, so I don't have to worry about them being fully cooked. All right, so I'm just going to cover that and let it, marinate for about, I'd say, 10 minutes or so while we go over and get our loaf ready. Okay, guys, so we're back with our loaf. Now here we have our lentils, and I'm going to go ahead and crush some of them. If you don't crush some of them, then you're probably going to have to add some eggs or some flax eggs or something, so this loaf will hold together. But by crushing some of them, it will hold together nicely. No, it might still fall apart if you try to cut into it before it's fully cold. So if you're worried about that, you might still want to add some eggs or flax eggs or whatever. But even if it crumbles, we're not worried about that. We don't mind. I'm going to add my 2 cups of pecan meal. You can also use walnuts, guys. You can also use other meat starters that you like. Sometimes I use the vegan sausage. I think it's vegan or vegetarian sausage. Can't remember the name of it, no. But the apple sage, I think. Usually use that one. Or if you're into grillers, you can crush the grillers and put it in here. There's a veggie burger at Aldi. I've used that before, as a starter for this. All right, so now I'm gonna add my thyme leaves, freshly chopped rosemary, and freshly chopped sage. It's gonna make it taste very savory. And now this is the time that you can add your favorite seasoning, guys. Yeah, and the thing is, you can taste it, right? I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of ketchup, and my ketchup does have honey, and there's a ketchup without any sugar that I usually buy at Publix, but you do want a little sweet in the loaf. You do want something sweet. It brings out the herbs and so on. To me, it brings out the lentil flavor. I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of my Grace Jamaican style jerk sauce. Maybe that was a little bit more. And then I'm also gonna add, I'd say about a teaspoon of garlic powder, even though we have fresh garlic. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna add the other powdered seasonings. Believe me when I tell you, I don't know measurements. I just pretty much eyeball, but I'm gonna give an approximation when I give the measurements in the description box. And here I'm adding some onion powder, about a teaspoon, and that was cumin before that I added, and that was about a teaspoon as well. Typically I use a teaspoon of these powdered seasonings. I'm going to use about half a teaspoon of my cayenne pepper and a teaspoon of spicy, actually not spicy, this is the wrong one, guys. Let's get Dijon mustard. Yeah, about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And the Dijon mustard actually enhances the sweetness, so you don't want to forget that. Also the oregano, I'm using some dried oregano. I brought in some fresh oregano from outside, but I forgot that the dried one gives it more flavor. I'm gonna put in about a teaspoon of dried bay leaves. And here comes the yummy stuff, guys. If you're into nutritional yeast, you know what I know about it. It makes everything yummy. This is about 2 tablespoons I'm putting in here. Then I'm just gonna combine everything. And like I said, guys, this is the time that you taste, right? Seasonings that I put here is favorable for me, but it might not be for you, right? So you're gonna have to taste and see, especially when you're dealing with veggies, right? You're gonna have to taste and make sure. You may make the first loaf and it's not the way it's supposed to taste to you, and you're gonna have to twerk it a little bit, right? But I'm gonna taste. I'm pretty much tasting to see if I need to add a little salt. It does taste like it could use a little salt, but I'm not gonna add any until I add my sauteed vegetables. So remember the sauteed vegetables I had on the stove, so it's ready. I'll go ahead and put that in. Use up those arm muscles. Oh boy, I tell you. Okay, so sorry for the noise, the banging with that. I know it's a little bit more intense because I got the microphone on. All right, so I'm gonna combine all of this. Did I put allspice? I don't remember. We're gonna put literally a pinch of allspice, right? You're just gonna combine. Now I'm gonna taste again. You can do with a little salt. Yeah, definitely could do with a little salt. With the lentil, you don't want to leave out the salt. I'm putting in a little bit of pink salt because salt brings out the flavor of everything, especially lentil. I mean, you could just cook lentil and add salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and it will be good to go. But you need that salt. All right, so this looks like it's ready. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and fill my loaf pans. I might just try it. Usually I like it to be thin, but I might just fill this one and make it nice and high. But I usually like to make 2 and keep it on the freezer. I think I'm just gonna fill this one. Press it down. Pressing it in here. And this is gonna go in the oven for 50 minutes on 350. Then we're gonna put our glaze on. Uncovered. I don't have it uncovered. So usually this glaze is for 2, but I just go ahead and put all of it on there. So my veggies are finished, so let's take those out before we put this in. Veggies are all done. Oh, wow, that's hot. I'm gonna put this on the center rack and lock her away on 350 for 50 minutes. Okay guys, so our loaf is ready. It's out the oven and look at her in all her glory. Now, we have to let her cool completely before we even attempt to take her out of this thing, or else the whole thing will fall apart. Guys, I'm about to show you our plated food, our lentil loaf, quinoa, some fried plantains over here, and our oven roasted veggies. And this is her in all her glory. So delicious, so quick, and so nutritious. I also served alongside that some cabbage salad, and this was leftover. It can be made and stored on the refrigerator for up to a week. And this is just julienne carrots, shredded red cabbage, and shredded green cabbage, cilantro, and a little bit of homemade dressing on top. So until the next video, guys, please remember to like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when another video comes out. I hope this video was inspiring, informative, and enjoyable. Until the next video, guys, God bless. Bye.